A few weeks ago, I put together my third computer build of 2020. It's the Ryzen 5 3400G. And if you're not familiar with the 3400G, it's a CPU that has its own integrated graphics in it. So that means you don't need a discrete or a dedicated GPU to game. I put this build together using brand new parts. I'll leave affiliate links in the description if you want to check them out. But anyway, after I put this Ryzen 3400G build together, my thought is I want to try and sell it on Craigslist / OfferUp or on Facebook Marketplace. I put it up on Facebook Marketplace on OfferUp last week, and the most frequent question I've been asked is, can this system play Fortnite? Well, this video is for you. Let's take a look. Okay, so here's Fortnite. Let's go to the settings and let's start on low settings and see how that looks and how many frames per second we can get. We are gaming at 1080p, okay, and we're going to come down here. I'm going to go ahead and move this to low settings. I'm going to apply it and we're going to see what it looks like and how many frames per second we can get. All right, here we are. We're finally on the ground, and if you look towards the top right up there, I'm running at about 140 to 150 frames per second. Now here at 1080p, it doesn't look the greatest, but it's way playable. There's no stuttering, there's no nothing. If I move around, it's nice and fluid. And again, I saw it jump up to about 170, 180 frames per second as I'm running through the grasslands here. So let's go ahead and check this on medium settings. Okay, here we are at medium settings. I can see our FPS is about 80 to 90 frames per second. The picture looks really good. There's no stuttering at all. Looks like I'm running towards the storm. I better run away from it. But anyway, this is medium settings, and this looks like it's going to be the sweet spot. So it's holding at about 75 to 80 frames per second on medium settings. Let's go ahead and check out the high settings. All right, here we are at high settings, and I tell you what, the picture looks nice and crisp. Oh, I'm a survivor, 50 people left. And you can see on high settings, it really puts a hamper on the frames per second. We're at 30 frames per second. If I stop running, it goes a little bit above 30 frames per second, but still playable. Most console games run at 30 frames per second. So if you like a lot of detail, 3400G on high settings, it'll do just fine. There's no stuttering yet. Let's go ahead and see what Epic settings does for us. All right, so this is Epic settings. Everything looks great. Look at the blades of grass. Look at the trees up there. But you can see we're only running at 20 FPS. And actually this is pretty good because we do not have a dedicated GPU or discrete GPU, just the onboard graphics of the 3400G. I would definitely game on the preset of medium settings using the Ryzen 5 3400G. All right, and as a little extra bonus, this is my favorite game to play. It's War Thunder, and I went ahead and I put it just on high settings. Not the highest, but high settings. Let's see what kind of FPS we get at 1080p. All right, yeah, high settings, here we are. I'm looking at, out of the gate, 75, 72 frames per second. There's a little dip there as we're doing some maneuvering into the 60s. Let's see how many frames per second we get when we get into a dogfight. All right, we're going after the Beast Hunter 422. As you can see, we're holding at about 70 frames per second. We're down low in the canyon with all the trees and bushes. Still holding over 70 frames per second on high settings. But we're the worst shot of everything. There we go. So in a dogfight, we did drop into the mid 60s, about 65 frames per second, but you can see it's already jumped up to 80. But you can see the graphics on this, on 1080p, they're just beautiful. So when you're playing these games, the Ryzen 5 3400G is a good choice, especially if you're on a budget. So to answer the question, can the Ryzen 5 3400G play Fortnite? The answer is yes. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please don't hesitate to give me a thumbs up, and also please consider subscribing for future content. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Thanks, folks.